Got another project today on the motorcycle. Got some wiring issues. I just don't understand what people are thinking sometimes when they do what they do. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is a spare magneto here for this TC125. And you see what they did here on the end. Somebody cut the wires, and they've also cut the sheathing. So I had to go over and see how long it's supposed to be, and it's a little bit short. So we're going to add a length of wire, and this thing is in really nice shape. There shouldn't be anything wrong. I'll probably put a new point and condenser in it, but that's it. But right now the issue is the wiring. So let me show you what I've done here. I've got a new piece of sheathing, and it's just just a little bit longer. I made it probably 2 inches longer, and I've already poked a hole in it here to run the wire to the neutral safety switch. That comes out, as you can see, on this one too. So try to get it back looking as original as possible. So that'll go there, and this will go up to our plug. And I've gone ahead and cut some wire. I was able to source some tracer wire, and I just cut it long enough here to do the job. Tracer wire is kind of hard to find locally, and it's probably hard to find most places. You're going to have to order it. I found a source for just about every color, and the only difference is the tracer goes kind of around the wire instead of straight up it, but that's no problem. The only thing you can find around here is just standard wire like this that doesn't have a tracer on it. So trying to stay with the theme of what they've got in there so that the next person will be able to trace down wire problems. I sourced this for all the same color wires that are in here. And if anybody needs it, I'm not affiliated with them, but just to help people source the stuff. I get it from 4R Custom Wire. I think it's in New Hampshire, but I'm not real sure. It's out east someplace. Very, very quick shipping. Even out here in Montana, it arrived in 3 days. So they're good people to do business with. And they're reasonable too. Now I'm not going to go into too much on this armature. Actually, I guess this is the stator. It stays put. That's the way I try to remember it. And Kevin Bergeron, he's done a couple of different series on these. So if you need to know anything about the coils or the basic concept, maintenance, upkeep of everything, I urge you to check out his channel, just Kevin Bergeron. I'm sure you're watching it if you're watching mine. Anyway, let's get on with it here. I'm just going to disconnect our clamp, and then you'll be able to see that these wires, these little covers, primarily they just slide off. They may be, there we go. And so you can see how they're fastened here. And the thing to do is to do just one at a time, so you don't mess up anything. But like I say, the wires are all coated, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. But if you take it loose and don't see here, See, this wire is white back here. So you need to do it that way. That way you can keep from getting things awry here. I just noticed this. I've got this, this is the wire going to the coil, the black with the yellow tracer, and it's got a little pinch right here, and I can see a wire that's, maybe it's not. But anyway, it's getting replaced. So let's get a couple of them off here. And I mean, I know everybody should probably know how to solder. There we go. Got the power issue there, I guess. And these are just little connectors here in the middle. This one kind of stayed put. I'm going to try to run him out here, get him pulled out just a little bit. Well, he may just want to stay put. There he goes. There. All right. So what I'm going to do, I think, I'm just going to make me a little note here that I'm going to call this one blue. Just put a little blue on it and say that, because I don't have all the correct colors here, I'm going to say that blue is the solid, I think. Yeah, the solid yellow. The only reason I'm doing that is I'm going to have to get the new harness, all the wires pulled through. Maybe I can do it. Let's see here. I actually think I need just a tad more wire on the black. These three terminate right here. The green, the yellow with the red tracer, and the solid yellow. But the black one needs a little more length on it. So I'm going to ditch this one. I forgot to note, I didn't notice that it comes all the way over here to the condenser. I should have noticed that. So we'll just cut a little bit longer length. Then I think we can just pull all these through there and then do what I was talking about, just connect them one at a time. Okay, these are all. I'm just going to add a couple more inches to that one. All right. Now let's just get all these pulled up the same length. And I'm going to run them right up there. There's several sources for this this sleeving. I get mine, I think it's out of Oregon. It's the same people I get my connector stuff from. That's Vintage Connections. Also not associated with them, but they're very good people to do business with. All right, so this is the way that's going to go. There's my neutral safety, and there's my extra length on that. And that way I can just do these one at a time and then pull it off. Make sure your sleeve is so you can get it back on it. All right, there's our first one. Just pull your sleeve back over the top of it. And let me get the rest of these. I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch me. Okay, we've got these all done on the back side. We're going to flip this around, and the yellow and black wire goes here to the condenser. Just pull that up. You don't want to overheat this thing. Get your iron hot real good, and then get on it. Try to get it loose, and although I'm going to replace this one, but it's in the real life you don't want to be on it too terrible long. And I must have a lot of tin in that solder. I think it's starting to come loose now. Overdone my, have a little trouble seeing here what's going on. I'm going to change my plug-ins here. I think that's my issue. There. I don't think I was getting the heat I was supposed to. I think I'm going to have to change my tips. Let me get a new tip on there. Okay, we've got a new tip on. There. Being cantankerous. All right. Get these back here out of the way for now. And need to kind of pay attention to where this black one is routed. Make sure this one goes back kind of the same way. there's our, everything is connected back there. That sleeve down. Like that. There we go. And I've got to get the little collar off of this one. Hope I can slide it down from the other way. This thing's a little crusty, but it's in good shape. Let me clean this up a little bit. All right, wasn't too bad a job. So get that back down there. It was just below the, not just about where it is. A little further down, looks like. All right. So the first thing we need to do is get our neutral safety switch on, or the connector for it. And again, if you watch where I replaced some connectors earlier in my videos, I get these from Vintage Connections, and they've got the exact duplicates of everything that was used back in the day. Slide your little bullet protector over. Just put this in the appropriate, I'm using the 16 to 14 range here. Actually, I believe that, no, that's right. And get it in there, just give her a squeeze, just like that. And there's your exact duplicate of the factory. You just pull the cover down over it. And what they did, they just bend it back here. It doesn't have this little crimp, this little heat crimp on the back, but it's close enough, I think. For me it is. So you'll just end up bending that to get to it. Now the other end, is a little more difficult. I think I need to get a little more of this black wire down here, black with the yellow, just in case we ever have to trim it off for some reason. So you've got a little left in case you need to change the condenser and something happens there. All right, and then here's our connector, and I've got all the 5 connector pins here. So we'll just give this a little trim on this end to where everything's the same. And I have already marked these so I know which one's going to go where, or at least I've got the original connector so I can tell where they go. Not off this bike, it's off the original one. This was, I was able to find a complete used engine off eBay, and I got a lot of really good parts off of it. I've used the crankshaft already. I'm using this armature. This was a 1300 or a 1300 mile bike. So a lot of good parts. I'm going to use the cylinder off of it. It's a little bit better. The original bike that I bought here locally had, I think it was 3,000, like 3,600, or maybe it was 2,600 or something like that. I think it was 3. So it's a little bit further worn out than this one was. All right, again, put your 22 to 16. That's where or 18 rather, right here. And these will go in here. Give them a squeeze. Another real nice connection. And we just do the same to all of them. Getting our last one on now. Well, my hands just aren't steady as they used to be. All right, so there's all our connectors. So this is the one that came off of the original bike. So I can see here with the connector in the same orientation, it's got this open spot at the top here that the solid here. You know, the solid yellow wire. I'm going to pull some of this back a little further so I can see. Now I got all this black crap on here. All right, now we're putting these where they need to go. And I just referred to the other bike that I had. these just snap in. Okay, so there we go. So there's our new connector with all the right color wires. So all I need to do now is get a set of points and condenser, and we'll be back in the game, and our wire will be long enough now to do what we need to do with it. All right. If I can remind everybody, if you like what you're seeing here, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. It helps me rise to the top a little bit in the YouTube department so that people watch my content. And I really want people to watch it. If I can't get people to watch it, then it's not worth it to me to do it. But all right. So thank you very much for going along on the ride.